And now for something completely different.
What is going on, YouTube? Well, if you've been on my channel before, you guys know this is a completely different direction. Usually I cover music and things, but hey, I'm the history buff, right? So why not check out the history of the entire world, I guess. I've had a few people in the past kind of recommend this to me, just here or there, sporadically.
You are, like Tyler was saying, you're a history buff. Why don't you start doing shit like really reacting to all of the different countries' geography now videos and shit like that? Those things are fun. Or like the history of the world. What the fuck ever that fucking funny video is. I don't know if you've seen it yet. The history of the world in fucking 9 minutes or whatever it is. But it's goddamn hilarious. Like you could do stuff like that all day long and people would show up just because there's a lot of people out there looking for that history
that
shit.
video is fantastic.
I enjoy doing the music. And then I started noticing some big time reactors, people who solely do music and things, start to react to this thing. So there must be something pretty neat about it. I know that in the title it says historian, but that really just means that I spent a lot of money just to kind of like pretty much learn what you can learn binging on YouTube for a couple weeks, basically. My concentration is in like medieval Europe, the Crusades, early church formation, that kind of thing. Even dabbled quite a bit in World War I, things like that. So I do kind of know a little bit about a lot and a lot about a few little things, if that makes sense. So there you go. There's my claim to fame. Normally I have my degree behind me, but I just moved in. So, you know, and I apologize for the shitty audio too. I'm trying to dial in my sound. So without further ado, let's get in this video. It's a long one. And I guess I'll make commentary as it makes sense to do so. I've never done something like this before, so it'll be interesting. So let's go check it out. Okay, so I'm settled in with a nice beer from something local. I don't know what's it called. Grove Roots Honey on the Double IPA. So good shit. So I don't know. Again, I guess we'll figure out. This is really popular for some reason. So see what we got here.
Hi, you're on a rock, floating in space. Pretty cool, huh? Some of it's water. Fuck it. Actually, most of it's water. I can't even get from here to there without buying a boat. It's sad. I'm sad. I miss you. How did this happen? A long time ago, actually never, and also now, nothing is nowhere. When? Never. Makes sense, right? Like I said, it didn't happen. Nothing was never anywhere.
I should have smoked a doobie first before this. No, wait, I would never keep up. Okay.
Is nowhere. When? Never. Makes sense, right? Like I said, it didn't happen. Nothing was never anywhere. That's why it's been everywhere. It's been so everywhere, you don't need a where. You don't even need a when. That's how every it gets. Forget this. I want to be something, go somewhere, do something. I want things to change. I want to invent time and space. And I know it's possible because everything is here and it probably already happened. I just don't know when to start. And that's exactly where it started. Oh, I paused it. I think there's a universe now. What's it made of? Quarks and stuff. Ah, that's a thing. In a place. Don't like it? Try a new place. At a different time. Try to stick together because the world is going to get bigger and emptier. But it's not empty yet. It's still very full and about 1 jillion degrees. Great news, the quarks are now happily married in groups of 3, called a proton or a neutron. And there's something else flying around too that wants to join in but can't because it's still too...
Dude, I've never had ads on here. I don't know if it's... Maybe I used to pay for YouTube, but I stopped. I don't know what's going on, but... Alright, so far we just talked about, I guess, somebody with ADHD trying to explain the Big Bang, I guess? Yeah, because right now things are too hot. Everything's so dense. There's, you know, physics as we know it kind of breaks down. Yeah, so. Right.
Great news, the protons and neutrons are now happily married to each other. Some of them even doubled up. Great news, the electrons have now joined in. Congratulations, the world is now a bunch of gas in space. But it's getting closer together. And it's getting closer together. And it's getting closer together. It's a star. New shit just got made. Some stars burn out and die. Bigger stars burn out and die with passion and make some brand new, way crazier shit. Which allows newer, more interesting stars to be made and then die and explode into So now stars have cool stuff around them, like rocks, ice, and funny clouds, which can make some very interesting things. Like this ball of flaming rocks, for example. Holy shit, we just got hit with another ball of flaming rocks. And
Okay, so real quick, this is reminding me of a lot of the stuff that the James Webb Telescope is kind of uncovering. That a lot of the stuff that they're saying is almost being disproven. I mean, I don't want to like start any kind of wars and shit in the comments, but they're starting to almost question the Big Bang. They're starting to question, you know, some of the galaxies that they're seeing are like way older than they should be. All kinds of weird stuff. So just really, if you're not familiar with the James Webb Telescope and what it's doing for science and stuff, just check it out. It's crazy.
I've made a mess, which is weather update. It's raining rocks from outer space. Weather update. Those rocks might have had water inside them, and now there's hot steam in the sky. Weather update. Cooler temperatures today, and the floor is no longer lava. Weather update. It's raining. Severe flooding alert. The entire world is now an ocean. Volcano alert. That's land. There's life in the ocean. What? Something's alive in the ocean. Oh, cool, like a plant or an animal? No, a microscopic speck. It lives at the bottom of the ocean and eats chemical soup, which is being served hot and fresh, made from gnarly space ingredients left over from when it was raining rocks or whatever. Oh yeah, and it can do that. It has secret instructions written inside itself telling it how to build another one of itself. So that's pretty nifty, I would say. Tired of living at the bottom of the ocean? Now you can eat sunlight. Using a revolutionary technique, you can convert sunlight into food. Side effect, now there's oxygen everywhere and the sky's blue. Then the Earth might have been a snowball for a while, maybe even a couple of times.
Okay, so I'm gonna really try not to make this like a 3 hour long video, but super interesting stuff. If you're interested in the early life, check out any book by Richard Dawkins, really. Especially Greatest Show on Earth is a good one. Blind Watchmaker, things like that, and just how everything kind of started. You know, you had this kind of like rich carbon soup going on, you know, the primordial ooze they call it, and then eventually there were these proto replicators that came around that probably came about and died off, and then finally when it took off, and when it took off, that's called Luca, which is like the last universal common ancestor, which supposedly every living thing comes from. Trees, people, you know, you name it, bacteria, it all came from this one thing. But then there's theories that there's multiple Lucas, but then it wouldn't really be Luca. So I don't know, but all right.
It's a
sorry to talk like this guy.
It's a worm and some other types of weird, strange water bugs and strange fish. It's the
Cambrian age. Yep.
Wow, that's animals and stuff. But we're still in the ocean. Hey, can we go on land? No. Why? The sun is a deadly laser. Oh, okay. Not anymore, there's a blanket. Now the animals can go on land. Come on, animals, let's go on land. Nope, can't walk yet. And there's no food yet, so I don't care. Okay, will you learn to walk if there's plants up here? Maybe, said some bugs. And fish. Okay, so I can go on land, but I have to go back in the water to have... Learn to use an egg.
I was already doing that.
Use a stronger egg. Put water in it. Have a baby on land in an egg. Water is in the egg. Baby in the egg, in the water, in the egg. Works for me. Bye-bye, ocean. And now everything's huge, including bugs. Want to see a map of the land? Sure. Oh, fuck, now everything's dead. Just kidding, here are the survivors. Keep your eye on this one because it's about to become the dinosaurs. Here's another map of the land. Yeah, it broke apart, don't worry about it, it does that all the time. Here comes a meteor. And the dinosaurs are gone. It's mammal time, here come the mammals. Look at those breasts. Now they're gonna dominate the world, and one of them...
Okay. God damn, we still got... Okay, so something kind of cool about that. The extinction event allowed us to even be here, because without that, mammals never would have been at the top of the food chain. They never would have gone past little rodent type things. So during the extinction event, certain things that survived lived underground. They were burrowing rodents, and those are the ones that kind of eventually popped up, and the rest, yeah.
Just learned how to grab stuff and walk. No, like walk like that and grab stuff at the same time and bang rocks together to make pointed rocks. Ouch. And set things on fire. Youch. And make crazy sounds with their voice. Knirsch, which can mean different things. That's a human person. And now they're everywhere. Almost. Ice Age. What? You can walk over here? Cool. Not anymore. Well, I guess we're stuck here now. Let's review. There's people on the planet. And they're chasing their food. Fuck it, time to plant some grass. Look at this, I control the food now. Now everyone will want to be my friend and live near me. Let's all build houses, except mine is bigger because I own the food. This is great. I wonder if anyone else is doing this.
So while we're here, let's ask the question, what separates humans from animals, right? Because, there was a line, obviously. So, the ability to, speech, talking about speech, making tools, things like that. And now the ability to kind of like work nature around yourself, right? Like planting food, horticulture, animal husbandry, if you will, which they're going to talk about soon probably. So yeah, we're now humans. Congratulations. But we're still not quite to civilization yet. And you're going to find out later on if they talk about it. Civilization is kind of considered you need to have language, a form of government, and you need to have some kind of like societal structure, right? Like cities, commerce, stuff like that. So I'm sure he'll talk about that.
Near me. Let's all build houses, except mine is bigger because I own the food. This is great. I wonder if anyone else is doing this. Tired of using rocks for everything? Use metal. It's underground. Better farming was just invented in a
Iron
sweet
Age.
dank valley right in between these two rivers, and the animals are helping. Guess what happens next? More food, and more people who came to buy the food. Now you need people to help make the food and keep track of the sales. And now you need houses for people to live in and people to make the houses. And now there's more people and they invent things, which makes things better. And more people come and there's more farming and more people to make more things for more people. And now there's business, money, writing, laws, power. Society.
There you go.
Coming soon to a dank river valley near you. Meanwhile, out in the middle of nowhere, the horse is probably being tamed. Why is all my metal so lame and lumpy? Tired of using lame, sad metal? Introducing
Bronze Age.
special ingredient tin from the far lands of Tinland. I don't know, my dealer won't tell me where he gets it. Also, guess what? Meanwhile, out in the middle of nowhere, they figured out how to put wheels on a horse. Now we're getting somewhere. Also, China! And did I mention Indus River Valley Civilization? The Middle East is getting more complicated, maybe because it's in the middle of the East. Knock knock, or clop clop. It's the people with the horses. And they made an empire, and then everyone else copied their horses. Greeks! Ah look, it must be the Greeks, or a beta version of the Greeks. Let's check in with the Indus River Valley Civilization. They're gone. Guess who's not gone? China. New arrivals in India. Maybe it's those horse people I was talking about, or their cousins or something. And they wrote some hymns and mantras and stuff. You could make a religion out of this. There's the Bronze Age collapse. Now the Phoenicians can get down to business. Also, can we...
So the Phoenicians were kind of big in populating the Mediterranean Sea, all around the Mediterranean Sea. So that's why people even in northern Africa, above the Sahara and desert, were very fair-skinned because it was Mediterranean, right? And then you had a land barrier, which was the Saharan desert. So, anyways, this is pretty cool. Now we're starting to get into they're talking about religion. We're starting to get into culture, and it's so interesting when you study kind of like the cradle of civilization. Hammurabi is as far back as they go, kind of like Babylon area. I think the earliest city they found was Jericho. I think that's about 6,000 BCE, before Common Era. That's what we tend to use more now. But then the first like cuneiform writings and stuff, that wasn't until like 3,200 BCE, and then shortly after that you got Egypt, and then from there you've got Greece, which is fairly kind of like not too far away and kind of connected, right? Because a lot of people don't realize that Cleopatra is Greek. She came from Greek ancestry, and Alexander did a good job of kind of like spreading Greek throughout that way. So anyways, and then from there you got Greek, Roman, and then from Roman you just right, and then Middle Ages and all of the European states and whatnot. So
out of this. There's the Bronze Age collapse. Now the Phoenicians can get down to business. Also, can we switch to a metal that's a little easier to find? Thanks. Look who came back to Israel. It's the 12 tribes of Israel. And they believe in God. Just one, though. He's got like a 10-step program. Here's some huge heads. Must be the Olmecs. The Phoenicians make some colonies. The Greeks copy their idea and make some colonies. The Phoenicians made a colony so big it makes colonies. Here comes the Assyrian Empire. Never mind, it's the Babylonian Median. It's the Persian Empire. Wow, that's big. Ah, the Buddha was just enlightened. Who's the Buddha? This guy, who sat under a tree for so long that he figured out how to ignore the fact that we're all dying. You can make a religion out of this. Oops, China just broke, but while it was breaking, Confucius was figuring out how to have good morals. Ah, the Greeks just had the idea of thinking about stuff. And right over here, Alexander just had the idea of conquering the entire Persian Empire. It's a great idea. He was great. And now he's dead. Hopefully the rest of the gang will be able to share the empire evenly between them. Knock knock.
Like, I can't say enough Alexander the Great, go back far enough, is almost single-handedly, in my opinion, responsible for just like the explosion of the Western civilization, basically, right? Greek culture and everything else, and then which eventually gave kind of rise to the Roman Empire. Just huge. And what he was able to accomplish coming from Macedonia and conquering the Persian Empire, which was huge, right? And then at that point, Persian just kind of became a nomer for anything that came out of the East. In fact, when they launched the Crusades, it wasn't the Persian Empire anymore. It was the Islamic Empire, basically, but they still called them the Persians. So it really kind of stuck.
Over here, Alexander just had the idea of conquering the entire Persian Empire. It's a great idea. He was great. And now he's dead. Hopefully the rest of the gang will be able to share the empire evenly between them.
He was young.
Knock, it's Chandragupta. He says get...
Okay, so you see this the Seleucid Empire over there? I think eventually that's kind of where the Ptolemies came from. I think that was a general that was over that, and the Ptolemaic Empire, eventually that was like Cleopatra.
Get the hell out of here. Will you get the hell out of here if I give you 500 elephants? Okay, thanks, bye. Time to conquer all of India, or most of India. But what about this part? That's the Tamil Kings. No one conquers the Tamil Kings. Who are the Tamil Kings? Merchants, probably.
It's like the Scottish.
Who would like to buy the spices? Me, said the Arabians, swiftly buying it and selling it to the rest of the world. Hey, China put itself back together again, with good morals as their main philosophy. Actually, they have 3 main philosophies. Out here, the horse nomads run wild and free.
Wait, let me read that again. Good morals, go with the flow, fuck you, obey the law. Nice.
Out here, the horse nomads run wild and free, and they would like to ransack your city. Let's check the Greekification levels of the Greekified kingdoms. Greekification overload. Bye, said the Parthians. Bye, said the Jews. Hi, said the Parthians, taking over the entire place. Hey, said the Romans, eating the entire Mediterranean for breakfast. Thanks for invading our homeland, said the Jews, who were starting to get tired of people invading their homeland. Hi, everything's great, said some guy who seems to be getting very popular and is then arrested and killed for being too popular, which only makes him more popular. You can make a religion out of this. Want silk? Now you can buy it from China. They just made a... Or you can keep their own water. Sick, new trade routes, said India, accidentally spreading their religion to the entire southeast. That's a good place for an epic trading kingdom. There goes Buddhism traveling up the Silk Road. I wonder if it'll reach China before it collapses again. Remember the Persian Empire? Yep, said the Persians, making a new one. Axum is getting so powerful they would like to build a long stick. Has anyone populated Madagascar yet? Let's do it together. China's home again. Then it broke again. Still can't cross the Sahara Desert? Try camels. Hell yeah, now we got business, said the Ghana Empire, selling lots of gold and slaves. Hi, I live in the Roman Empire.
Did you hear what he said? And slaves. Oh, shit. Okay. I need another beer. I'll get it in a second.
We got business, said the Ghana Empire, selling lots of gold and slaves. Hi, I live in the Roman Empire, and I was wondering, is loving Jesus legal yet? No. Actually, okay, sure, said Constantine, moving the capital way over here to be closer to his main rival. Don't worry about Rome, it won't fall. It's the There's the Gupta Empire, not Chandragupta, just Gupta. First name Chandra, the first. Guess who's in Rome? Barbarians. What's a barbarian? Non-Romans, said the Romans, being invaded by non-Romans.
Okay, now we're getting into my wheelhouse here. Big time. Okay, so you saw with Constantine, right? I kind of skipped through it pretty quick. So Constantine, basically by the time he came around, he wanted to convert to Christianity, probably, I think, because of his wife. And at that point, there were so many different sects of Christianity. They all believed different things. So the Council of Nicaea was basically him blocking everybody in a room and saying, hey, you got 2 weeks to figure this shit out, figure out what's going to be in our Bible, figure out what we believe, how we're going to handle just church affairs and things like that. And out of that came basically the Catholic Church. And then what you're seeing here is, eventually Western Rome did fall in the 400s. And it was just slowly kind of like taken over by barbarians, people who were kind of being hired almost as like bodyguards and things, because just Rome just became so weak, and they just kind of fell apart from the inside out. Even though the Eastern Empire would last like another 1,000 years, right? So that's kind of where we're at right now, I think.
Guess who's in Rome? Barbarians. What's a barbarian? Non-Romans, said the Romans, being invaded by non-Romans. R.I.P. Roman Empire. Or actually just half. The other
476,
half is
yeah.
just fine. But it's not in Rome anymore, so let's give it a new name. The Mayans have figured out the stars. Oh, and here's a huge city, population everyone. The Gok Turks have taken over the entire Eurasian steppe. Great job, Gok Turks. How's India? Broken. How's China? Back together. How's those trading kingdoms? Bigger and there's more of them. Korea has 3 kingdoms. Japan has a kingdom. It's the Sunrise Kingdom. Deep in the Arabian desert, on the top of a mountain, the real God whispers in Muhammad's ear. So he goes down to the cube where everyone worships gods, and he tells them their gods are all fake. And everyone got so mad at him that he had to leave town and go to a different town. You can make a religion out of this, and maybe conquer the world as well. The Roman Empire's long gone, but somehow the Pope is still the Pope. Plus there's new kingdoms all over Europe. I wonder if there's room for Moors. Here's all the wisdom. In a house. It's the Baghdad House of Wisdom. Just in time for the Islamic Golden Age. Let's bring stuff to the coast and sell it and become the Swahili on the Swahili coast, said the Swahili on the Swahili coast. Remember this tiny space you have to go through to get from here to there? Someone owns that now. Want to get enlightened in the middle of nowhere? The Franks have the biggest kingdom in Europe, and the Pope is so proud that he invites the king over for Christmas. Surprise, you're the new Roman emperor, said the Pope, pretending to still be part of the Roman Empire. Then the Franks broke their kingdom into what will later be called France and not France. The Northerners, or just Norse if you don't have much time, are exploring. They go north, from the north to the northern north, and they find some land, 2 types of land, and they name them accordingly. They also invade some other places and get called...
Oh, they flipped that. That's always been a joke, right? Like, why is Greenland covered in ice and Iceland is green, right? Holy crap, it's going so fast, I can't even, like... So yeah, Western Roman Empire fell. You have all these kind of proto-European states that kind of popped up. France was a huge empire at one time. Even had a lot of England there, right? And then and then of course for a long time it's going to be kind of a tug of war between, England will occasionally come over and take a big chunk of France, and then they come, and stuff like that. So
find some land, 2 types of land, and they name them accordingly. They also invade some other places and get called many names, such as Vikings. There's the Rus, the Kievan Rus. Are they Vikings? I don't think so, said the Kievan Rus. Okay, fair enough. The Pope is ready to make some more emperors of the Roman Empire, the Holy Roman Empire. It's actually Germany, but don't worry about it. New kingdoms.
Christianize all the kingdoms.
Which brand would you like? Mine's better. Mine's better. Mine's better. Time to conquer England, said William. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's the Seljuk Turks.
Okay, so William the Conqueror, right? Basically, up until William the Conqueror, England was just a lot of different warring little states, a lot of kings over small areas. And in fact, that was kind of like when the time of King Arthur would have been, when with all those kind of fractured parts of England. And then, yeah, William the Conqueror came. And when you hear the Conqueror, it sounds very fancy, right? It usually just means you just kill a ton of people and scare them enough to where they finally kind of,
Said the Byzantine Empire, who's getting so small it almost doesn't exist anymore. We need help. They need help, so they call the Pope. Hey, Pope.
Crusades. We're going to need crusades. Yeah, because, again, the Islamic Empire started to kind of come into the Byzantine a little bit. And, of course, well, even though it's not the Western Rite, they're still Christians, so you got to help them out. This turns into a clusterfuck.
Right. Can you help us get rid of the Seljuks? Maybe take back the Holy Land on the way? Come on, I know you want to take back the Holy Land. Yes, I do actually want to do that. Let's do a crusade.
And they actually had phones back then, too, just, in
Maybe
case you're
take back
wondering.
the Holy Land on the way? Come on, I know you want to take back the Holy Land. Yes, I do actually want to do that. Let's do a crusade. Crusade! They did many crusades, some of which almost didn't fail, but at least the Italians got some sweet trade deals. Goodbye, Mayans. Hello, Toltecs. Goodbye, Toltecs.
Holy shit. Okay. So really soon, I'm definitely doing a video on the Fourth Crusade, which is the biggest clusterfuck in history. So basically, long story short, I don't want to ruin it, but all these French lords were like, yeah, let's go, take over the Holy Land. And so they struck a huge trade deal with the Venetians, the Venice, right, to build them tons of ships. Well, nobody showed up. They all went different routes. They all just decided to just like pull the trigger and leave early, and half of them were going across land and things. And then finally, when it came time to pay the Venetians, there was literally like a couple people standing there like, I don't know where everybody is. So they couldn't pay them. So they were in debt. And then somebody shows up out of nowhere and is like, hey, I'm the rightful ruler of Constantinople, which is who called them for help in the first place, right? I'm the rightful ruler, but my uncle kind of, took over. So help me win my throne back. They help him. And then he kind of like, kind of forgets about him and shoves him aside. So they kick his ass and conquer Constantinople. And that was basically the Fourth Crusade, to fight those evil Islamic heretics, right? And win back the Holy Land. They ended up conquering Constantinople, for God's sake. And they killed a few Jews on the way, too. So, right.
Hello, Mississippi. Look at those mounds. There's the Pueblo. I always wondered how to build
Wait, let me back up.
Hello, Mississippi. Sweet trade deals. Goodbye, Mayans. Hello, Toltecs. Goodbye,
Okay.
Toltecs. Hello, Mississippi. Look at those mounds. There's the Pueblo. I always wondered how to build a town in a cliff. Guess who's here? Come here. Where? Here. And Pagan is there. Vietnam unconquered itself. Korea just became itself. And Japan is so addicted to art that the military might have to take over the government. China just invented bombs and typing. And the Mongols just invaded most of the universe. Nice going, gang.
Dude, hell yeah, they kicked ass.
I bet that will last a long time. Some of the Islamic Turks were unaffected by the Mongol invasions because they were busy invading India. Is it Tonga time? I think it's Tonga time. I just found out where the Swahili gets all their gold. Look at this Chad. Means lake. There's an empire there. Right in the middle of Africa. The king of Mali is so rich he's going on tour to let everyone know. Wow, that guy's rich, everyone said. The Christians are doing a great job reconquering Iberia, which will soon be called Spain and not Spain. Please remain Christian. We will check in later to see if you're still Christian when you least expect. Whoops, half of Europe just died. China's back, yay! Hey, come here, time to share. New kingdoms here and there. Oh, look who controls all the islands. It's the Mahajapit, Majapahit, Mapajahit, Mahapajit, Mapajahit, Majapahit. Oh, Italy's really rich. Time for them to care a lot about art and the ancient classics. It's kind of like a rebirth. Here's a printer, let's make books. So you think you can conquer...
Okay, so what do you think the printing press gave way to? Basically the Reformation, right? So now they're going to print a lot of books. Everybody has their hands on the Bible. Things get very hairy, right? And everybody kind of comes up with their own version of Christianity. So the Reformation was very quickly on the heels of the printing press. It was a huge kind of like a cause and effect.
And the ancient classics. It's kind of like a rebirth. Here's a printer, let's make books. So you think you can conquer the Byzantine Empire? Yep, said the Ottoman Turks. Nice job, Ottoman Turks. Oops, you missed a spot. Don't forget to ban Europe from the Indian spice trade. What? That's bullshit, said Portugal, spiceless. Well, I guess we'll have to find another way to India. Wait, said Christopher Columbus, probably smoking crack. If the world is round, let's go this way to India. No, don't worry, we already got this, said Portugal. So Chris goes to Spain. Hey, Spain, want to hire me to find India by going around back of the world? No, please, no, please, no, please. Okay. So he sails into the ocean and discovers more ocean, and then discovers the Indies and Japan. Let's draw a line to decide who gets which half of the world. The Aztec and Inca empires are off to a great start. I wonder if they know that Europe just discovered their continent. The Habsburgs are marrying into so many royal families they might have to start marrying each other. Move over, Lithuania. Here comes Moscow. Ivan wants to make Russia great again. Move over, Timurids. Maybe go invade India or something. Persia just made Persia Persian again. Let's make it the other kind of Islam. The one where we thought the first guy should have been the other guy. Hey Christians, do you sin? Now you can buy your way out of hell. That's bullshit. This whole thing is bullshit. That's a scam.
Just so you know, that's Martin Luther, that guy right there. So now we're about to get into the Reformation here.
Christians, do you sin? Now you can buy your way out of hell. That's bullshit. This whole thing is bullshit. That's a scam. Fuck the church. Here's 95 reasons why, said Martin Luther in his new book, which might have accidentally started the Protestant Reformation. You know what would be magnificent, said Suleiman wearing an onion hat.
So indulgences was the main reason why Martin Luther kind of like, he was very much against that. And what that basically is like you said, if you've got sin, you basically you buy your way out of it. And a lot of that came from the Crusades, people who were doing a lot of things, a lot of bad things. And, they said, hey, go take up the cross and your sins will be forgiven type thing. And then that turned into, hey, I'm going to hire somebody else to go do the crusade and my sins will be forgiven. And then before you know it, it was just like, hey, just pay us a bunch of money and then your sins will be forgiven. So it really got out of hand really quick, and a lot of it had to do with the Crusades. And but for the most part, Martin Luther wasn't really like anti-Catholic, just kind of anti the direction it was going. And I want to say he didn't even intend to like create his own offshoot or his own religion. It just kind of ended up happening. So
what if the Ottoman Empire was really big, which it is now? What if Russia was big, said Ivan, trying not to be terrible. Portugal had a dream that they controlled the entire Indian Ocean, including the spice trade. And then that dream was real. And Spain realized that this is not India, but they pillaged it anyway. Damn, said England and France. We gotta start pillaging some stuff. Then the Dutch revolt and all the hipsters moved to Amsterdam. Damn, said Amsterdam. We gotta start pillaging some stuff. Question 1, can you get to India through North America? No, but at least there's beaver. Question 2, steal the spice trade. That's not a question, but the Dutch did it anyway. Guess where all the sugar's made? In Brazil. Stolen. In the Caribbean. And it's so goddamn profitable, you might forget to not do slavery. The next thing on Russia's to-do list is to get bigger. Britain and France are having a friendly discussion about who should control the entire world, more specifically, Ohio. Then it escalates into a 7-year discussion, giving Prussia a chance to show Austria who's boss. But what about Britain and France? Did they figure out who's boss? Yes, they did. It's Britain. Guess who's broke? Also Britain. So they start taxing the hell out of America. Fuck you, says America, declaring their independence and fighting for it. And France helps them win. Now France is broke. And Britain will have to send their prisoners to a different continent. Wait, if France is broke, why do the king and queen still wear such fancy dresses? Let's overthrow the palace and cut all their heads off, said Robespierre, cutting everybody's head off until someone eventually got mad and cut his head off. You could make a No, don't. Haiti is starting to like the idea of a revolution, especially the slaves, who free themselves by killing.
Okay, so this is a great point. Like, the American Revolution really set off a powder keg around the world of just revolutions, right? Because quickly on the heels of that was the French Revolution, and then you got, you know, in Haiti, and once you kind of cross that line and you say, hey, these monarchs aren't really anything special, you know, what really put them there in the first place? It didn't take very long, because, you know, that was right on the heels of the Enlightenment and all these other things that just kind of like caused it all to happen. Yeah, don't.
No, don't. Haiti is starting to like the idea of a revolution, especially the slaves, who free themselves by killing their masters. Why didn't we think of this before? Wait, who's in charge of France now? Said Napoleon, trying to take over Europe. Luckily, they banished him to an island. But he came back. Luckily, they banished him to another island. There goes Latin America, becoming independent in the Latin American Wars of Independence. Britain just figured out how to turn steam into power, so now they can make many different types of...
Industrial Revolution. This is where it all goes crazy.
Machines and factories with machines in them, so they can make a lot of products real fast. Then they invent some trains and conquer India and maybe put some trains there. Hey, China, said Britain, buy stuff from us. Nah, dude, we already got everything, says China. So Britain tried to get them addicted to opium, which worked, actually. But then China made it illegal and dumped it all into the sea. So Britain threw a hissy fit and made them open up 5 cities and give them an island. Britain and Russia are playing a game where they try to stop each other from conquering Afghanistan. Also, the Sultan of Oman lives in Zanzibar now. That's just where he lives. India just had a revolution, and they would like to govern themselves now. Nope, said Britain, governing them even harder than before. Technology is about to go crazy. The United States finally figured out whether slavery is good or bad. It's bad, they decided. And then they continued manifesting their destiny, which is to kill the rest of the natives and take their land and maybe kick out the Mexicans too.
Shit.
I know, let's rape Africa, said Europe, scrambling to see who could rape it the fastest. They never got Ethiopia. Britain and France are still hungry. They never got Thailand. The United States ran out of destiny to manifest, so they're looking for more. Hawaii, Cuba. Wait, Spain controls Cuba. Well, blame something on them and go to war. What should we blame on Spain? Let's blame the Maine on Spain. So they blame the Maine on Spain. Now we're in business. To celebrate, they kick Panama out of Panama and make a canal, connecting the 2 oceans. Britain just found oil in the Middle East. It makes cars go. China is so tired of being bossed around that they delete their old government and make a new, stronger government, which is accidentally weaker and controlled by a guy from the previous government. Europe hasn't had a war since the last war, so they start World War I. Look at those guns. It's gonna be a great war. So great we won't need a second one.
Okay, second wheelhouse here. So yeah, the theory was that this war was going to be so amazing because it was the first major war that we had after or during or on the heels of whatever you want to call it, the Industrial Revolution, right? So there was just an incredibly fast advancement in just weaponry and all kinds of other things that just made such mass devastation. They're like, oh yeah, it's going to be so bad no one will ever want to fight ever again. Well, we know how that worked, and I'm sure they're going to poke fun at that. But yeah, World War I, or the Great War, was just it was basically like the equivalency of crossing emails and not getting a message in time that caused it. I know it was like the assassination of Franz Ferdinand and all of that, but there was a lot more to it. It had to do with Russia and it, yeah.
Start World War I. Look at those guns. It's going to be a great war. So great we won't need a second one. After it's over, they blame Germany. Russia went on strike and the workers overthrew the government. Now everyone's paycheck is the same. Communism in the Soviet Union. The Arabs revolt and Britain helps. Now the Ottoman Empire's gone, so we can give the Jewish people a place to live. Hopefully the Arabs won't mind. Let's cut the cake, said Sykes and Picot, carving up the remains of the not-so-Ottoman-anymore empire. Except Turkey. Turkey makes a brand new Turkey. And then the Saudis conquer Arabia. It just seemed like the right thing to do. Hello? Yes, it's the 1920s calling. Let's get in the car and drive to a party and listen to jazz on the radio and go to the movies. The economy's great and it'll probably be great forever. Just kidding.
Nope.
Germany's back featuring Hitler, the angry mustache model, and he's mad at the Jews for existing. Japan is finally conquering the East, and they're so excited they raped Nanking way too hard. They should probably just deny it. Hitler's out of control, so the international community tackles him and tries to explain why killing all the Jews is a bad idea, but he kills himself before they could explain it to him. That's World War II. Bonus round, Pacific Showdown. United States versus Japan. Fight.
This is awesome.
Finish him.
Fuck. Extinction ball. Yeah. After Germany surrendered, there was still Japan. And yeah, we took care of that.
Japan. Fight. Finish him. Let's unite all the nations and have some world peace. Seems legit. Hi, I'm Gandhi, and if Britain doesn't get the hell out of India, I'm going to starve myself in public. Wow, that worked. Bonus, now there's Pakistan. Actually, 2 Pakistans. One of them could be Bangladesh later. The Jews and the Arabs finally figured out which one of them should live in the Holy Land. Me, they both said at the same time. Let's divide up the land so everyone's happy. Psych! They both get angrier. Look out, China. There's a new China in China. What's on the menu? Communism. No thanks, said the other China, escaping to an island. I wonder which one is the real China. There's the Korean War, Korea versus Korea. Nobody wins, then it's on pause forever. Let's meet the sponsors. Oh, it's the 2 global superpowers. They're having a friendly debate over which economic system is good and which one is an evil virus of Satan. And they both have atom bombs. Fight! Wait,
Cold
no,
War.
that would be the end of the world. Let's just keep it cool and spy on each other instead. And make sure we have enough atom bombs. I'll race you to space. Now let's make some more countries fight themselves. Europe is tired of pillaging other continents, and the continents they were pillaging are tired of being pillaged. So here's a new map with new countries. Now you can't tell who they're being pillaged by. The United States finally decided whether racism is good or bad. They decided it's bad, and the world agrees. South Africa might need another minute to think about it. Let's check the world population. Whoa. Technology's better too, that might keep happening. The Soviet Union decides to relax a little and accidentally falls apart. Europe makes a union, so now they can all use the same money, except Britain because they don't feel like it. Let's check the mail. Surprise, it's on the computer. Whoops, someone just attacked America. I bet they'll remember that. Phone call. Surprise, it's in your pocket. Want to learn everything? Surprise, it's on the computer. Now your phone's a computer, which is in your pocket. Whoops, the economy just crashed. Don't worry, the big banks won't fail because they're not supposed to. Surprise, flying robots. With bombs. Want to print a brain? Some people have no friends. Some people have no food. The globe is warming. And the ocean is full of plastic. Let's save the planet, said everybody, not knowing how. Let's invent a thing inventor, said the thing inventor after being invented by a thing inventor. That's pretty cool. By the way, where the hell are we?
Okay. All right. Well, I guess let's talk about that.
What do you want?
Okay. Well, yeah, that was pretty cool. I mean, obviously it was very, very, it was well done. That was really well done. So props to them. Obviously I think this might be a little older because a little bit more has happened since then, but we don't need to get into that, I guess. But anyways, hey, anytime I do something new, and this is something incredibly new, it brings new people to the channel. So hopefully if you're here, you want to sub, great. Not, fuck off. No, I'm just kidding. Welcome either way. So usually I check out music, but I want to get more into some of these things and even do some original content. Stay tuned. Again, I'm going to do something on the Fourth Crusade. And then I'm going to do something about cuckoo birds being nature's biggest asshole. So that's a little bit of original content that I'm looking for. I'm trying to dig myself out of being like the bottom feeder of YouTube and just being a reactor, No offense to literally everybody that I just threw under the bus. But either way, if you're here, hopefully I'll see you in the comments. Let me know what else you'd like me to check out or do. Meanwhile, until we meet again, everybody be safe, healthy, and be nice to each other.